Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldus and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, Zach here for Friday Night Flies. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that fun stuff. All the holidays are over now. I hope 2018 is treating you well. It's treated me pretty good so far. I was out fishing yesterday, which was Wednesday, and I got some monster bull trout. Maybe I'll flash up a quick photo on here for you. So over New Year's, I was actually down in Portland, which was kind of fun. They just opened up a brand new fly shop called the Portland Fly Shop. It is pretty sweet. Jason, the owner, was super accommodating. We hung out for a little bit, chatted about fly tying. He's going to have one hell of a store once he gets it all complete and fully dialed in. And they've only been open for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I guess now. If you're in the area, go check it out. It's super cool. Jason, if you're watching, we'd love to have you come up and come fishing with us sometime too, buddy. So let's make it happen. So today, this fly was kind of chosen by me, by you guys. So I've kind of teased this one on my social media and stuff like that. It's called the Electric Spey. It kind of blew up on a lot of the blogs and stuff like that I've posted it to, and people are loving it. So I figured, what the hell, let's do a tutorial on it. So it kind of came to me just as kind of a new age colors with the old school classic style. They kind of merged together to create this beautiful fly. So I'm pretty happy about it. This one's actually, the first one I tied was a display fly. So I did it up a shadow box for a family friend. It's in there and not going to get fished. This one I might fish. So I'm going to tweak it just ever so slightly, adding an extra rib on it to kind of reinforce the hackle, but other than that, basically the same fly. And a different hook on this one. I picked some up when I was down in Portland, so we'll get to that in a minute. So last week I finally watched the shows. Everybody was doing flies with no preview, so that's how we're going to go about this one. So sit back, enjoy, and let's head on down and get this one going. Alright guys, there it is, the Electric Spey. Just kidding. Yeah, so this is, like I was saying, this is kind of one that I just kind of freestyled and came up with one night. I did the original one for a good family friend, and I put it in a shadow box. So that one won't be getting fished. This one, on the other hand, will be. So I'm adding an extra step to it. Just an extra rib. It gets kind of a little unruly, but if you take your time, go slow, it turns out all right. So for a hook, I'm using a Alex Jackson steelhead iron, 1X stout, 1X short. That's the hook there, size 3. The original that I did on this fly was a Daiichi 2050, size 3. Another beautiful looking hook. I picked up these Alex Jacksons down in Portland at the Portland Fly Shop. If you're in the hood, go check it out. So for thread, I'm just using some 70 Danvilles. We just work our way down the shank to about the point between the hook and the barb. We're going to add a little tiny tag for this, just a little hot spot. So for this, I'm just going to use some UTC Ultra Wire, small and blue. As you can see, it's got a nice electric blue color to it. I'm really digging this color combo on this fly. A lot of people are like, oh, I'd never fish that. I kind of want to, just for fun. So this is how you tie them. So this is going to be a small tag, maybe 5 or 6 turns or so. So a new year, we got some cool new stuff in the shop. We got a bunch of new Sims dry bags and stuff like that. Come on down checking it out. I've got some working on some new stuff as well. We're possibly going to be working with a new vendor. So some of the hackle I'm about to use, you might be able to buy from us in the future. So stay tuned for that. Believe me, I will be first one to let you guys know. If you don't follow us on our Facebook page, please do. You'll get updates. So there I've kind of taken maybe 5 or 6 wraps of this small blue wire, and I've pulled it along the side of the shank and tied it off, just so that way when I break it off, it doesn't all slip out on me and unravel, which we don't want. So now I'm going to add there's a couple butts on this fly, so that's our little tag. This little butt section is going to be some large holographic tinsel in black. So with the large size, I'm going to maybe tie this so it's about 1, maybe 2 widths of the tinsel. Just enough to give a little sparkle at the back there, without being too obtrusive. Doesn't need much, just a couple turns. You can reinforce that with glue if you like, but I think it's a small enough tag. It's not going to be, won't be running into any issues. If I can get that chunk to come off, maybe we can keep going here. So I'm just going to secure in that little tag. And now I'm going to do, you saw the black spey fly that Art Lingren did with us. It's called a tip-in. So I've got a piece of saddle hackle here, which is Superfly premium neck hackle in purple. So I've just taken just the tip off of this one, and I'm going to tie that in right on top. So try to get it to lie how you want, and kind of pinch it in. Really secure that in right on top. A couple semi-tight turns, and you can kind of manipulate it ever so slightly until you get it sitting how you want. Like so. That looks good to me. I'll just kind of secure that in at the shank just a little bit, then we'll come back down. Now I'm going to add one more little tag item. So just some Dr. Blue ostrich hurl. This is some Superfly stuff. This is the really bushy stuff. You've heard me say it before, I don't usually like it, but for this application I definitely do. I do prefer the smaller stuff for the for intruders and things like that. You can hear Vinny's booming voice in here. He never shuts up. It's always really loud. We are open. We are fairly busy this post-holiday season, which is pretty nice. It usually gets pretty quiet around this time of year. The fishing's been pretty good too. This I'm going to tie in just a couple turns. I was just out the other day, my girlfriend's dad and a friend of the shop, Brendan. You've seen him tie on Friday Night Flies. We got into some monster bull trout. Probably in the 6 to 8 pound range. They were just pigs. We pulled a couple out of one hole. It was a fun day. So there we go. So there's all our tag ends. All finished. Just a few. So again, some people think I'm crazy for fishing something like this, but it actually looks pretty cool when it's all said and done. Alright, so now we're going to start on our body. So our body's got 2 ribs, and 3 ribs actually, and an actual body section. So I'm going to actually tie in some oval tinsel, Uni French oval tinsel here in medium. This is going to be the hackle that I omitted from my display version. This one's here mostly to help reinforce my hackle, which you'll see in a little bit here. So that I'm gonna kind of tie in on top, and more, if I'm looking at it from the top, more to the left side of the top, the side that's away from me, but it's still on top. You'll see why once we start wrapping all these body materials up. And just open spiral turns up to kind of lock it in place. We can come up a little bit past that return bend. Now my next rib is going to be some of that same UTC wire that I just used, the blue, the small, as well as some small fluorescent pink. So you can see those 2 colors together actually look pretty cool. So these I'm just going to kind of even up the butt ends. And just to fill in that little step on these return eyes, you've seen me do it before, I'm going to tie them in right there and along my side of the hook. Do a couple loose turns there just so I can pull that back. I'm going to tie these in together along my side of the hook. This will all make more sense once we start wrapping stuff forward and you see the final product. So that's 2 ribs. Now our 3rd rib is going to be some pearl tinsel, large in pearl. So let's take a chunk of that off the spool. You can use flash blue as well. You can use the medium or the small. That's all up to you. I like the large just because these hooks are quite large. So fill that body. And I'm going to tie this in. You'll kind of see the pink wire there, hopefully. You can see my rear rib. I'm going to tie it in so it's right in between the 2. So this just helps to keep the body nice and smooth, flat. I'm going to tie that in all the way up here. We're actually going to be in the boat show. Tying some filler here. So if you're in Vancouver in the area, come check it out. Come check out our chakra boats. We got a wicked selection. Learn about us. We weren't there last year. We were a little new, so we didn't have time to get in. But this year we will be there. Now for my main body material, I'm just going to use some Danville 4-strand floss here. I'm going to catch this in on the way down. I'll basically tie this in right on top. Take this all the way back. You're probably thinking I'm crazy for having this many ribs, but you'll see the effect I'm going for. Now for my hackle, I'm actually using some heron. It's pretty wispy, a little tough to see there. On the actual one that I did, I've got one kind of here actually. I've kind of already tied up. It's a little bit of a fuller feather. All of them work. They look beautiful. They all swim really nice. Another good substitute is blue-eared pheasant, which is this guy here. You can kind of see this one's black, so it's been dyed, whereas the heron is natural. That's the gray color. Like I was saying, we're working at possibly bringing some of the good stuff in. I will definitely let you guys know. I'm trying to get it in a couple different colors as well. So stay tuned to the Friday Night Flies page. So I've stripped off half the feather. It was kind of ratty anyway, so it kind of works out. I want this to be fairly sparse. So I'm just going to tie it in by the tip, but I'm going to move up my thread about 1/3 of the way up, give or take. I'm going to tie this in kind of the length of the body here. Take that kind of to about there. I'm going to leave some room at the head. Got a little collar and a wing to throw in, plus the head. So this looks a little ratty right now. It's a lot of materials. So I'm going to start by isolating. The thing I love about the Mongoose Vise is this material clip. It slides up and down, allows you to have multiple materials in it at once. I'm just going to pull this, sorry, just a sec here. I'm just going to pull this tinsel through my fingers so I can kind of flatten it a little bit. You have to bear with the hackle. Again, take your time. Take a few wraps and create a nice smooth black body here. Each time just pushing that hackle out of the way until I get in front of it, which I'll be doing shortly here. 1 or 2 more wraps. One there, one more behind. Excellent. Now I can start wrapping in front. Just take your time. This is a fly that gets made with love. Definitely play around with other colors with this fly as well. I'm sure it'll definitely look good with all sorts of crazy variations. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Christmas came early for me. I got a Spey rod. I got a Reddington Chromer. Taking it out once. Got into a lot of fish on it, so I've been pretty happy with it. Got it more for steelhead season, but it's a lot of fun to throw big streamers on a Spey. A lot of power on that rod. If you're thinking about getting into a Spey or a switch, I would highly, highly consider that rod. Like I said, it's going to be a little unruly at first. A couple turns behind, just trim that a little bit ahead. Awesome, thank you. I'm just going to tighten that up, clean it all up. Add some purdy lag. Alright, now we're going to do our pearl tinsel. I would consider this part of the body actually, not so much a rib. You call it whatever you want. So I'm just going to take that up. That's wrap number 3. Just evenly space, leave some space so that the black can show through. There we are, close to the head. Secure that in place, couple wraps. Lock it down. Trim away the extra, save that for another fly. Just kind of tidy that all up so none of that comes loose. Now I've got 2 ribs, if you don't count that tinsel. One that's going to go on the front side of the tinsel, and one that's going to go on the back side. So the one in front is going to be the blue and the pink. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to pull them up nice and tight. Having a rotary vise definitely comes in handy for doing this, so I can actually rotate it and I can place it exactly where I want. I'm keeping the pink in the back, the blue in front. You can go the other way around too. Doesn't really matter. Just take your time. Just make sure those are sitting exactly where you want. Now that I'm up to the front, I'm just going to take a full wrap of the wire so it's really in there good. Secure this all in place. Try not to get too far forward. Keeping my thread nice and tight. I can just wiggle, break off that wire. Now I'm going to do my reinforcing hackle, which is going to go on the rear side, just like we were just doing there. Just follow that tinsel up. As you can see, it gives a really cool segmented look to the body of this fly. And this medium tinsel, since it is raised, it's going to, like I said, really help to reinforce the hackle. The stem's going to be a little bit shorter, and it's going to just help protect it. You could counter rib if you wanted to. This one, just for the clean look, I'm going to keep it all flowing in the same direction. Just tidy up that head a little bit. Now we're going to wrap our hackle. This, I'm just going to strip those fibers back. If you can ever get your hands on some heron, hopefully with us soon, you'll definitely get some and try it out. It's a really cool material. I'm just going to, it's pretty sparse down here at the back. Once I get to the head here, just make sure this is all sitting right where I want it. I'm going to take a couple turns at the head here, just to really help fill that in. Now those thicker feathers, like on the other one there, it was really full. This one's a little sparser, which is fine. You know what? I think that's how I like it. I like this one a little bit sparser. Sometimes the fish don't want the big bulky flies, they want something a little mellower. So let's just secure that in place. Trim away the stem. As you can see, that's a long, lots of movement in these fibers. I'm just going to kind of roll them gently in my fingers. Just kind of get them flowing all backwards, which is what I want. You could take some Velcro to it or a brush. A couple more securing wraps. Just make sure everything's nice and tight. Alright, and now we're going to move on to our wing. So under our wing, sorry, not the wing, we're going to move on to the throat. So for the throat of this fly, I'm just going to use some guinea fowl. Got some hot pink here. And just like I did with my heron hackle, just clean that up a little bit. I'm actually going to strip off half of it. I want this to be fairly sparse. I'm going to tie it in by the tip. So just kind of isolate the tip, get all those fibers going the way you want. This one I actually found near the bottom of the patch that I had, so it's actually quite a small feather. You don't want it to be too big. Unless you want that look, that's all up to you. I want it to be a little smaller just to kind of keep the whole sparseness. Now I could trim that away. I think that's going to hide inside the wing just fine. I'm basically going to use up this whole thing because there's not much there. So this is just creating a little bit of a throat and a little bit of a prop for the wing. That should get me about 2 wraps, I would think. There it is there. Perfect. 2 wraps on the stem. The smaller feathers are actually quite brittle, so I'm actually going to wrap that stem forward and then wrap back on it to really secure it in place. I'm just going to wrap back on it ever so slightly. Now I can trim away that stem. Let's see how that guy's looking. Wish I had a piece of Velcro with me. Oh, there we go. Just kind of push those fibers. They all kind of get moving how you want them. That's actually looking pretty nice. Sexy. I know Brad likes this fly. Now for our wing, I've got some goose shoulder. I picked up at our friends over at Pacific Angler. which is kind of cool. I'm actually just going to strip off all this fluff here. So they all kind of come paired. I've actually found that some of these, you get your left and right side, and they actually look pretty good right on the one feather. That one's pretty even. So I'm going just with my scissors, to get myself a little chunk here. About yay big. I'll do the same for the other side. Whole point of taking from one side and the other side is just to give you a pair of wings that match up in the middle, so they both curve into each other, which is what we want. That one seems a little bit small. Just a sec here. A little easier to do it with my scissors in the hand. There we go. You just take one edge of your scissor. There we go. That's a little better. Kind of isolate how much you want, and just peel it right off the stem. Just like so. So you saw me struggle with the lioness that I did a couple weeks ago, setting up these wings. That one's a little smaller than the other one, so let me grab one more piece here. Actually, the boys from Fish Finder are coming down next couple weeks here. We've got an event, so come on down, come meet them. They're signing up people for ice fishing tours and stuff like that. We're teaming up with a bunch of other guides in the area, which is kind of cool. Come on down, say hello. We'll maybe post the event on our Facebook page when we get a chance. Alright, so now that I've got these guys, you can see I got them kind of pointing together, laying on top of each other. Now you can kind of judge how long you want this wing to be. I like to go just a smidge past the bend of the hook. You do you. Whatever you like is how it can be. This is just how I like to do it. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to pinch those so that they fold together. Now I'm going to take a loose wrap on top. I'm going to pinch everything together. I'm going to pull straight down. This is called a pinching loop. That one did not work at all. So I'm going to actually take them back here. I'm going to reposition them. If I can get this to go. You can usually reposition once, maybe twice if you're lucky. Okay, this is just an underwing. I'm going to do another set of wings anyway. Those are sitting where I want them. And nice little pinching loop. Let's just make sure that's sitting how I want. And this is more of an underwing, so this kind of helps to form the foundation of the main wing. So you know what? Pretty okay with that. Sitting okay on top. It's okay that there's a little gap. It'll fill up with the second pair of wings that we throw on top. So now I'll just do a couple more turns just to kind of secure that in place. Trim away the excess. Just make sure it's sitting how I want. It's a little high, that's okay. Once you start fishing it, it's going to start falling down anyway. So same thing, grab a chunk of the goose shoulder. Maybe ever so slightly thicker this time in width. Alright, so you're just going to isolate it with your scissors, pull it through. That one didn't work out, so I'll just kind of brush those back together. It does act like Velcro, so if you want to do multicolored wings, just grab more of the same material. That's better, just like so. And you actually just split them and you piece them together, you lay them on top of each other. Squeeze them together. Something I am a little interested in, but it's a lot of work. Not that this fly isn't a lot of work already. There we go. There's our second set. Just going to lay that on top. Again, I'm just going to fold them, kind of tent them ever so slightly. And a nice loose wrap. Pull straight down. Pulling everything tight. Now we're going to just make sure that's sitting how I want. Shape just might be. Oh, almost. That was a little off. So you can kind of play with them a little bit and they'll kind of sit how you want. If you don't like it, like I said, go back, redo it, which I might do on this. It's being just a little frustrating there. Get that sit how I want, get my thread where I want it to be. There we go, that's looking a little better. One more wing on top. There we go. Alright, one more wrap. Down nice and tight. Just see how that's looking on your side. That's looking a lot better. So there you go. Beauties of tying live. Sometimes you get to see us do stuff multiple times. Let's just see. Push that down just ever so slightly. That's alright. Alright, now let's cinch that down. Lock it all in place. It's actually sitting a lot better now that I redid that second one. There we go. Now we're just going to tidy up our head. You could switch out to something a little thicker if you wanted. Just clear that all up a little bit faster. Just make sure I get that all covered up, nice and pretty like. Cover up that blue that's in there. Alright, there we are. Now let's just take our whip finisher, keep our thread nice and tight. We're just going to whip finish this bad boy off. Wings playing around on me there. There we go. One final step. You can use head cement if you like, multiple applications, Solaraz bone dry. My favorite. Completely speeds up this whole nice shiny head process. There you go, you get a nice slow roll as well. This is my favorite resin on the market right now. I think we've got some more goodies coming from them soon, so we'll definitely show that off to you guys once they come in. Zap it with our lights. Woo, there you go. See that smoke coming out. There you go. See that pink wire and that pink guinea really pop. And there you have it. The Electric Spey. As you can see, that heron is a thing of beauty. No slow roll without the light for you. Nice little throat, that triple rib. Kind of a cool looking fly. There you have it. Let's head on up and sign out. Alright everybody, there it is, the Electric Spey. Hope you guys enjoyed. That one didn't go together quite as smoothly as the one I did that I posted on Instagram and stuff like that. A couple of the other blogs out there. But you get the idea. Hopefully you guys picked up some cool tips and tricks and found some useful hints and stuff like that. So again, I'll keep you up to date on some new products that we're working on bringing in. I'm pretty excited, so hopefully we can start getting some of these in. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a fun little fly. Good one to test your skills with. Yeah, other than that, that's about it for me this week. Hope you guys had a great New Year and all that jazz. Hopefully you're out fishing already. I think I was saying earlier, got out the other day and got in some really nice bull trout with Brendan from the show, who's done a couple episodes with us. And there's some pigs out there and nobody out there fishing, which is the best part. So if you're looking for some quiet rivers, now's the time. Get out there, enjoy it, enjoy your all your Christmas fun specials and gifts and things that you guys got. Come on in to the shop if you got any questions. If you want to tie some stuff, I got some materials here too, so come hang out. Like I said, I think we've got the boys coming down. I think it was on the 20th, January 20th. They're going to be down for a little bit. We'll maybe post something on our Facebook page, Friday Night Flies. Check it out. Even our Instagram page, which is brand new, Friday Night Flies over there as well. Give us a follow. Take us some photos. We'll maybe repost some of them, which is kind of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit us up with any comments as well. Hit us up on Facebook, shoot us an email, whatever you need to do. We're here to answer your questions, and we'll see you guys next week.